Today we are going to talk about my aha moment. It's a beautiful aha moment I've had. But first, I'm going to plug this book. If This Is Love releases in less than a month, August 6th. It will release to Kindle Unlimited. You can pre-order it on Amazon. And the audiobook files should be in my greedy little hands so soon. And if I have them before the ebook and paperback releases, will I give it to you? Absolutely. So this isn't enemies to lovers. No, it is not. I'm not going to redo this video. It's not an enemies to lovers. It is a forbidden romance. It is an age gap. It is a cowboy story. There are awful characters. There are beautiful characters who in their own way are still kind of awful. This is like Naked Fisherman meets Yellowstone. I've said that before and it's kind of the best I've come up with. So that's that. Let's jump into my aha moment and see if I can articulate it better than I did with my intro for the book. My aha moment came just recently as I was working on a new project and I was taking a story that I wrote a novella about, and I'm going to lengthen it into a full-length novel. And so I don't read my reviews. It's very rare that I do. I did when I first started writing, and I think what soured me from doing it anymore was that I thought I would probably quit writing if I read all my reviews, and not because most of them were bad. Most of them are really great. All of my books have mostly good reviews. But it's the bad ones that stick with you. And I know that some authors learn from that. And I don't think every review that's a bad review is truly constructive. So an example is when somebody writes a review and they say that a character is not relatable. Well, that one has stuck with me for a long time and it's aggravated me, and it's been this thorn in my side when I go to write books because I'm trying to think, how can I make this character more relatable? But here's the thing. Relatable to who? To the readers? To which readers? Because we are all different. We are all individuals. We all have different experiences in our life. And this isn't even just talking about your race or your sexual orientation or your religious experiences, your political experiences. It's not just that. It's everything. Every individual is unique and has different experiences and different things that shape them, and no two people are going to find something 100% relatable to both of them. It would be very unlikely. So trying to reach the goal of writing relatable characters is an unreachable goal. It's unattainable. I can maybe write a relatable character for a handful of people, but this character's not going to be relatable to everyone. So I digress. As I started writing this full-length novel from this novella, I did go back and look at some of the reviews on it, and there were a number of people that don't like the female character. It's usually the female character, sadly, in the romance world that other women don't find relatable, even though the men should be least relatable to us. And I don't know what it is with the relatability. I've sometimes questioned, is it truly that? Or do we sometimes see ourselves in them, but maybe a part of ourselves we don't like and we don't want to admit that that part is relatable? And that may or may not be it. But the point is, when I read a book, I don't need the characters to be relatable. I just need them to be entertaining. I need them to be part of the story that entertains me. I need the story to be interesting. I need it to be well written. Think about all the fantasy romances and stuff out there. We don't relate to like all the characters. Some of these characters might even be aliens. Well, we're not probably going to relate to those so much. And the thing is what's relatable to me isn't going to be relatable to the person next to me. And we're not all going to relate to the same thing. So for authors to try to write relatable characters, it's just an unattainable goal. And for me, I think it's extra hard. And this is why. I am somebody who, when you think of like hot button topics, I'm very rarely fully in either camp. that's politically, that is so many of these topics. I won't even get into them here, but I am in the middle. I am somebody who listens to both sides. I don't feel biased by either side most of the time. I've become this person. I used to be somebody who's much more opinionated, and my opinion wasn't just an opinion, it was a fact. You know, we see so much of this now on social media. Well, it's not just my opinion, I'm right and they're wrong. Well, I'm somebody in the middle going, why don't we listen to both sides? And how do we know one side's just more right or more wrong or whatever? I am this person who I've decided the more that I learn, the less that I know. So when I write characters, I'm able to write characters that I don't always, quote, I guess, relate to, but I write them to be interesting. And I think because I'm somebody who's not super set in my ways, as I write characters, I give them the freedom to have clearly differing opinions than myself, but differing opinions from each other. And I guess at the same time, I allow them to have opinions that I feel like are probably not always going to be the same as my readers. But I'm writing a story kind of hoping that readers are just reading the story for entertainment, because that's what it is. But I know there's a segment of the readership who needs this relatability. And this has just bothered me for so long. As I'm writing this novella into a novel, and I'm going back and reading the first part, and I'm trying to figure out, okay, what did some of these readers not like about this heroine? And the problem is I thought, well, maybe I'll just tweak a few parts of that to make her less hated, more relatable. I don't know. All of a sudden, she's no longer that character. I wrote her to be that character. And her character is young. Her character is defensive, but that's her character. That's who she needs to be. And it saddens me that some people will read the book and not like the book because they don't like the character. It's like they get this tunnel vision of, I can't focus on the rest of the story or the bigger picture because I have decided that I don't like this character for whatever reason. And that's okay, because everyone has their own right to have opinions on books and feel however they want to and not finish books or leave whatever reviews. I'm not saying that. I'm explaining it more from my point of view, how I have trouble writing what evidently are relatable characters, because I don't look at it that way. I don't look at this person, and when I write them, I don't think to myself, I have to love them and think that we would be BFFs in real life. I'm just trying to tell a story, and I like writing all kinds of different characters. I don't want them all to be exactly the same. In fact, I have some people say, oh, your heroines are so quirky. And that, on one hand, I'm like, well, I'm quirky, so that's probably my voice in them. But I'm like, oh, I hope I'm not just writing the same type of female characters, because they try to have them be a little bit different. I don't think like Jessica Day is like all my other characters. I think she's pretty badass, but not all my characters are badass, and some of them are insecure. And I want it to be okay to write insecure characters, because that's life. And some people are insecure, but is their story somehow less important than everybody else's story? I don't know. I'm just like putting this out here. The reason I put it on here is because down below in the comments, I want you to tell me how you feel about relatability. Like, what do you even think relatability is, and how important is it for you in books? Doesn't mean I'm going to try to please you, because I think, again, it's this unattainable goal to write completely relatable characters. But it feels good to just know that I have discovered that it's impossible. And so now I can just sit down and write, and I can just be creative and let the creativity flow into the pages, and let the people who want to read my books and want to enjoy the stories do it without trying to make something work or happen that just isn't going to. So that's much ado about nothing, as all my videos are here on a Friday. Again, pick this up, get it pre-ordered. Can't wait for you guys to dive into it. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace, everyone.